Now trying to do it as a head coach with Stony Brook. The orange in white and orange, and the Seawolves in navy and red. We are underway in the Carrier Dome. Both teams have struggled from the face-off X of the season. And Syracuse wins a critical one. It's Brett Kennedy. He's been huge on the wing, looking for a quick start through Hiltz, and he's denied by Palma. The ride keeps it alive for Syracuse, and Rafis cashes in. Steven Rafis, what a start for the Orange.
I'm seeing a common theme in college lacrosse with top attackmen. They score goals, they can find teammates with great passing. Mayo on the right kind of balancing that outside threat.
Here's DeMayo, passes off, back to him, rear back fires, Porter there to stop it. DeMayo trying to sneak it past Porter low, and now Syracuse can kill the extra man. So Stony Brook, 2 early opportunities with a man up, and they could not cash in.
That was a good stop by Porter, and Porter's just been gobbling up those low shots these last few outings.
Peter Dirth blows one past Anthony Palma. Great transition goal from Peter Dirth.
Hammer it, 9. Hammer it. He's a short stick defensive midfielder, but he came to Syracuse as an offensive midi. His strengths running in transition.
Take it early in this game.
And then you're staring at the first midfield. So if you're Stony Brook, you have 4 long poles out there. It means you have to short 2. Brendan Curry has a shorty, and he's one of the fastest players in college lacrosse. So look for him to take advantage of those opportunities.
Chase Scanlon on a great feed from Steven Rafis, and it's 3-0 Orange.
That's a good sign for Scanlon. Right now, Rafis and Hiltz have been the headliners on attack. Scanlon has the potential to explode his freshman year. Experience, but it's overall lacrosse IQ and just understanding your teammates' tendencies.
Takeaway. That's Danny Cassidy, the senior for Stony Brook, gets it into the cross of Dylan Pallonetti. Let's see what the transfer from Maryland can offer. Looking for a spark. Pallonetti delivers. Right on the money for the freshman Dylan Pallonetti.
We featured him in the open. Jay Alter, you always get a kick when I say, like, this guy.
Face-offs in this game.
You just felt like Stony Brook needed that goal, right? Just to say, okay, we belong in the Dome against Syracuse heading into the second quarter. Take a breath. You realize we can get to the rack on these guys.
Palma makes the save. Syracuse a second chance. This is Brendan Curry. Over to Chase Scanlon, eyeing up options. Finds Rafis, who buries it past Anthony Palma. Great 2-man game early between Scanlon and Rafis. Those two have combined for a couple of goals in this first quarter.
Yeah, reversing the role here from the last goal. And in a couple of years when he's on the left side, and Joey Spallina will be coming to Syracuse. He's a 2022 high school player. When he's on the right, it's just going to be complete fireworks.
Right on cue, Owen Hiltz drills it past Anthony Palma, and it's 5-1 Syracuse.
Look at the top hand and how quick this release is by Hiltz. Just bam, he catches it. Gives you more time in terms of putting the goalie in a spot to react and really have his back against the wall, because a lot of goalies are used to catch, cradle, set up. Okay, stick on stick, I'll read it. Not with Hiltz.
This will stay with Stony Brook. Midway through the shot clock. Great goal, stinging the corner, Corey Van Ginhoven. What a goal, and exactly what Stony Brook needed.
Van Genhoven, wow. If you watched the game last night, Nicky Solomon, too, that's just, for a young kid, is incredible, but I love his effort and how hard he goes in terms of just his hustle.
Midway through the shot clock, Stony Brook down 3. Pallonetti looking to make something happen. Extra step, can't use it though. Had a really good look at the cage there.
Yeah, that's one where Pallonetti makes that nice move, but just needs to finish from his ear. You know, Pallonetti's a really tough physical dodger, and you get that opportunity to have your stick low and shoot high.
What a shot, rear back and fire. Matt DeMeo blows it right past Drake Porter, and don't look now, Stony Brook only down 2.
You know, I mentioned earlier, you had Pallonetti as the lefty on the man up and DeMeo as the righty, but now you're seeing it on a 6. I like his game. I like his game a lot. He finds the top side and increases his angle when he dodges. Van Genhoven tried that same shot, and you just see how hard it is to can that first one. But getting back to Pallonetti, when he dodges, he's a two-handed lefty attackman who does way more damage above the goal than behind. So you'll see his passing and his scoring typically come from above the goal.
That time passing right on the doorstep, and Van Genhoven there to put it in the back of the net. It all started with Pallonetti behind the cage.
We've got a couple of freshmen in the dome, one for Cuse named Owen Hiltz. Don't forget about Dylan Pallonetti.
Chance to get him if things don't work out at that big school.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue Long Island's the best lacrosse in the country, as Dordovic just absolutely hammers that lefty. Dordovic's a righty, by the way. That just tells you his offhand. But getting back to Ghilardi, when we were having that conversation, I said, Coach, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but I would recruit all the top guys just in the event that they go somewhere else and they get homesick or things don't work out. They come back to the island. That could be the destination.
That time, Dordovic delivers. Gets a second chance, and he makes the Stony Brook defense pay.
This just shows you the strength of Tucker Dordovic. The shot before, Schellenberger from Virginia and Matt Moore's teammate, very two-handed. From the midfield, I think Dordovic is the most two-handed player in college lacrosse.
Here's Brett Kennedy. Ball just bounced right into his stick. A give and go to Hiltz. Goes low! What a goal from the freshman Owen Hiltz!
This is gorgeous. And we've seen Hiltz with the left hand when he sweeps across, sting it high. And virtually from that same release point, he uses the carpet. Just that little differently in terms of the game. They're a step ahead of the play when you think of Sowers, when you think of Gray, when you think of Hiltz. So they can kind of counter their lack of size with obviously skill, some quickness, but most importantly, their lacrosse IQ.
Out of the Syracuse timeout, sloppy with the ball, but Stony Brook could not clear it after they caused the turnover. Gives an extra chance to the Orange. They can hold for the last shot of this second quarter. Coming up at halftime, we'll give you our Lax top 5 best plays of the season so far. Looking forward to that, but first, Jamie Trimboli, his first goal of the game, and it makes it 8-4 Orange.
Couple of themes here I'm seeing in 2021. Brendan Curry should invert more because he's a transition with guys like Dearth and Kennedy. You could slow it down and have a change of pace with a guy like Curry behind.
Balls to Dordovic, darts in, and scores! Tucker Dordovic with 12 seconds before halftime makes it 9-4 Syracuse.
Really nice goal and awareness by Tucker Dordovic, because when he first scoops that ball up, you're thinking, oh, this guy hammers at 90 miles an hour. He's just going to let it rip. but he understands the pressure from the Stony Brook deep.
It's 6-on-6 attack. Here's Jamie Trimboli. What a great job to keep that in play from Owen Hiltz. A lot of people would have let that run out of bounds. He did not give up on it. Possession still with the Orange. Brendan Curry working on the short stick. Great feed. Rafis the finish. And it's a hat trick for Steven Rafis to put the Orange up 10-4.
I don't know. Every time Brendan Curry has the ball behind, yeah, two things hurting Stony Brook. Getting dominated on the faceoff, and then having to deal with Drake Porter. So when you finally get the ball and you get a decent look, Drake Porter has been spot on.
Brendan Curry, a one-man show on that possession. Shades of his father, Todd, the three-time All-American for SU.
I've got one word for this replay: speed. Lacrosse speed, sometimes you don't even need, you know, that 40, 50 yards. Sometimes it's like a 20-yard sprint, and Curry's is frightening.
Owen Hiltz had so much on it. Palma got a piece of it. It didn't matter. Oh, this freshman can do everything.
He can. And do you remember his last goal that he scored in the second quarter? From like a similar release point, he can go low, he goes high, but just the snap. When you watch his release, you guys keep talking about everyone else, but they have the defense that's probably most equipped to deal with these insane offenses.
It's a great point. Kevin Corrigan, defense, defense, defense. He's built the backbone of that program on it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Owen Hiltz, are you kidding me? The freshman going off for the Orange right now.
I mean, this is like broken record city. Look at that little hitch though. Where that shot gets developed was with his right plant. Throw some marinara sauce on my sausage and peppers, and everything's better with red.
I don't
but
disagree.
The chicken parm, yeah, the chicken parm. One of my golden rules with chicken parm.
Yes, under 3.5.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you spoil it. It's got to be razor thin. It's got to be so thin it can slide underneath the door.
Oh, razor thin there on the angle, and Scanlon blows it past Anthony Palma. A 10-goal lead for the Orange.
Sebald, 14 in white with a good look. Scanlon doesn't handle it. Sebald's not going to be thrilled. You know why? He's not getting the assist on this one, because Scanlon drops it, then picks it up. So in the locker room, they'll have some fun there. 14 in white will say to 22, you robbed me of an assist. But Scanlon, 34, who I just mentioned, the freshman and the quarterback of this team, but also has a serious lefty shot.
Pallonetti didn't get it cleanly, but recovers. Stony Brook had 2 man-ups in the first 5 minutes of the game. Couldn't cash in on either, but Pallonetti rear back and fires that one past Drake Porter. Stony Brook cashes in on the extra man opportunity through their ace in the hole, Dylan Pallonetti.
Yeah, this guy is the real deal. I mean, he went to Maryland. John Tillman went after the Ward Melville product. He guard the opponent's top attackman. But what he's going to do is he gives you a lot of value in terms of when he's working off ball on the inside of your defense.
Grew up in Woodlands, Texas. 2-sport athlete in high school, lacrosse, and what other sport after seeing that hit?
In Texas, football.
Had to be, and it was. Great goal there. Snuck it past Anthony Palma. Off the Grant Murphy caused turnover, Syracuse cashes in on the other end.
Well, we talked a lot about the attack and Rafis and Hiltz, but Brendan Curry is in. Who are you going to prioritize in terms of your matchups? And when you prioritize one, the other two get loose.
One last thing on Murphy before the Curry goal interrupted us. He won the 6A 2016 state championship as a high school football player in Texas. That is a big deal. That might be the hardest championship to win in all of high school athletics. 6A football in Texas.
Yeah, and you're getting a great athlete. You know, 20 years ago, a Texas football player wouldn't play lacrosse.
Syracuse rolling right now. That's a hat trick for Tucker Dordevic.
Just so impressed with Tucker Dordevic. We saw him his freshman year. He was excellent for a freshman, but the full game now. A ton of guys back in their top 6 teams and coaches would drool to have, right? I'll tell you this, I don't think one team in the ACC will go undefeated this year in league play. I don't see that happening. I just don't. I think that the teams, when you look at them and you dissect their rosters, it's going to be so difficult not to have a loss.
Lucas Quinn, he'd start on most midfields across the country. Runs on the second line for the Orange and scores his first goal today.
And he's got his confidence. And then Sebald gets his assist back, right? Because Scanlon blew one of his feeds, picked it up and scored. He won't get the assist, but that time Sebald.
What's the Carcaterra soak order? You can soak checks, you can soak shots.
Just two. Just two.
You can soak chicken parm and breadcrumbs. Stony Brook continues to battle here down 12. What's the outlook for the Seawolves? In a really competitive America East, we saw how good Vermont was a week ago when they played Syracuse. Obviously, Albany, always a fixture at the top of the America East, but they were picked preseason to win the league. On the verge of a 3-game losing streak, even though DeMeo scores there.
Yeah, DeMeo has the righty gun. Long term, well, let's start with the season. I think the America East is one of the, well, I remember one of the best shots I've ever seen, Joe Sider just absolutely hammering the ball against a great goalie in Evan Malloy, who no goalie would have a shot. I mean, it's one of the great shots I've seen in terms of the replay, too, and the way that we captured that with John Kettering and crew was awesome. But I remember in terms of the patterns offensively that they gave Syracuse a lot of problems off ball that day and really attacked from the midfield. But Gallardi, if you watch those Towson teams where he was the offensive coordinator, they did some great stuff.
Great curl around the cage and a goal for Stony Brook. Seawolves have back-to-back here in the fourth quarter.
Caleb Pearson here with a nice move and defense.
What we've done in the second half here in the Carrier Dome.
Yeah, we want to talk about the stories from a lot of these players from different schools that, you know, oftentimes you don't get in a regular game too, right? Because you're focusing on a contest between two teams. We'll go a little bit big picture and have a guest too. We want to have coaches and players on, but we're going to keep it light and really fun. Wow, are you serious with this shot? Cacciadorian, we talk about goalies not getting a warm-up. Well, Mike McMahon, this is ridiculous. He absolutely paints the near pipe, rolls, puts that big body in, and you see the hit rotation too.
Stony Brook gets one for the road. The Seawolves cash in on the extra man opportunity. hopefully they can take some momentum into their conference game on Sunday.
Mike McMahon with another rip. A net to look at. I like the urgency. Your team's down. You got a gun for it.
The last time Syracuse scored at least 17 goals in 3 consecutive games, you got to go back to 2004. They've